Alright team, so welcome to your second video on goal setting. This one, we're going to help you work through the actual process of setting a specific goal that is going to be something that you pursue for the following weeks. So in the first video, hopefully you watched that and hopefully you did the Wheel of Life, and from the Wheel of Life you've identified some areas that you need to set some goals in. So like I said, this one we're going to actually effectively set those goals and create something that we hope is something that's exciting, something you want to pursue on a daily basis, something that you can work consistently towards, because we know if you consistently work towards something that is exciting, you are actually going to get somewhere and you are going to actually progress and you're going to get the outcome that you want to get, which is something really, really important within goal setting, because there's nothing worse than setting a goal that's not exciting, not pursuing it, not getting anything out of it and feeling bad on the outcome of that whole process. So that's what this video is all about. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to take yourself through the SMART goal setting process, which is something that a lot of people will have done either in their work or their personal life outside. And we're going to flip it and we're going to turn it into something called a PPP goal, which I think is much more exciting. It's much more likely that you're going to pursue it, and it's much more likely that you're going to get the outcome that you want out of the end of it than if you just left it as a SMART goal. So first and foremost, let's just refresh on what a SMART goal is. So SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. And this is the process that most people will go through, just a box ticking process, just to make sure their goal is vaguely useful and something that you can vaguely work towards as you progress through time, essentially. So let's run through those 5 points. So the first one is specific. Make sure that the thing that you're aiming for is specific. And I'm saying that this process is actually quite useful, so we're still going to work through this process. So the first step is to make sure that your goal is specific. And we're going to talk generally about, health and wellness based goals, because that's the area that we work in. So we could be looking to lose some weight. We need to make that goal more specific. So how much weight do you want to lose? Is it actually weight that you do want to lose, or do you want to lose body fat and maintain your muscle that's underneath the fat? Or do you want to change a measurement? Do you want to make your waist narrower? Which one of those is it that you actually want to pursue? Be honest with it and then make that more specific. So get into that. I want to lose 5 kilos. I want to lose 5% body fat. I want to lose 2 inches off my waist. All of those are much more specific than I want to lose weight. And that's what a lot of people come into our gym saying. What do you want to do? I want to lose weight. How much? Where from? Is it actually weight? Is it body fat that you want to do? We need to delve into it a little bit deeper, get more specific. So that's your first checkpoint. Make sure that what you're setting yourself as a goal is specific. Then we're going to move on to measurable. So if something is nicely specific, you can then more likely than not measure it. So if it is weight that you decide on, how much weight do you want to lose, and can you measure that? Have you got a good set of scales that you can measure and track that kind of performance marker on? If it's body fat, have you got a process for measuring that body fat, and is that measurement accurate? So is it going to be a skin fold test, which is probably more accurate than a set of scales that does a body fat percentage for you on there? So again, make sure that is measurable. And if it is a body measurement, so something like your waist measurement, have you got a good accurate tape that you're going to measure it with? And then again, you can track that performance measure over time and make sure that you are moving forward towards that goal. So that is what measurable means. The third one is achievable. So with that specific measure, is the amount that you're saying that you want to change by something that is achievable within the time frame that you're looking to achieve it in? Or are you setting yourself up to fail because the goal is essentially too big, it's too hard, and when you get closer to that time frame that you want to achieve it by, are you actually going to be in the right ballpark to achieve it, or have you got too far to go? So if you want to lose a lot of weight, you maybe need to lose a lot of weight, that's great, but do you have the skills to actually do that now, or do you just need to get the ball rolling and get it started? So think along those lines and make sure that what you're setting yourself is achievable, so you can actually enjoy pursuing it and not feel like you're getting nowhere because there's still loads of goal to go. Next up is relevant. So is the thing you're setting, is it actually relevant? So going back to the Wheel of Life, is it actually in an area that is going to significantly improve your health and well-being and your happiness? Or are you kind of masking it by doing something that is already pretty good and you're trying to move forward 2% rather than working in an area that needs big improvement and you could move forward by 10, 15, 20%? Or have you got your measures slightly wrong? So with relevant, again, there might be people who think, right, I need to lose weight, whereas actually they are at a good weight. What they actually need to do is recomposition, so lose a bit of body fat and build a little bit of muscle, and they'd be the same weight, but they'd perform much, much better. So is it relevant? Is it actually something that you need to be changing, or are you measuring a rogue measurement that isn't actually really important to what you're actually trying to achieve? And then finally, time-based. So you need to set yourself a time scale for this goal. You need to set yourself a deadline that you work towards, because whatever deadline you give a task, it will expand to fill it. That's a well-known kind of theory. So if you give yourself 2 weeks to write that report at work, you'll probably do it the day before and finish it the day before. If you give yourself 3 days, you'll get started straight away and you'll finish it in 3 days. So give yourself a time scale for it, achieve that thing, and that will help you work towards it and get started, particularly at the start. So, like I said, SMART, I reckon we should work through it. We should go through and make sure we tick all 5 of those boxes. But what you can do is go through all of those 5 boxes, tick them all, and still come out with a really uninspiring goal. So something like lose 5 kilos in 8 weeks. It's specific. It's measurable because it's 5 kilos. It's time-based because you've got your 8 weeks in there. It is relevant, potentially to this made-up person, and it is achievable. You can lose 5 kilos in 8 weeks, but that is a very uninspiring goal. So lose 5 kilos in 8 weeks. I'm going to lose 5 kilos in 8 weeks. Everybody says it. Not many people actually go and do it. So with that very same goal, let's turn it into a PPP goal. So we're going to make it much more personal, much more positive, and we're going to write it in the present tense. And what this will do is it'll make that same goal much more exciting. So let's work through these one by one as well. So first up is personal. We're going to write this goal down, and we're going to make it personal by using the word I. So I am this. So it is you, and you start picturing yourself as having done this thing. It's going to be very, very positive. So rather than talking about losing, which can be quite negative, it kind of paints the picture that you are too much at the minute. We're going to focus on the positive side of it. So I am going to be, and it's going to make me feel this way. So a lot of people want to lose 5 kilos, and that's great, but there's a reason for wanting to lose that 8 kilos. And in this example, it's body confidence. You'll feel a little bit better about yourself if maybe you feel like you're in a little bit of better shape. So we're going to focus on the positive aspect on that. So if I lose that 5 kilos, I'm going to feel much more confident in certain situations. So we're going to focus on the positive element of it. And then we're going to write it as if we are already there. We're going to write it in the present tense. And then what this does, it helps you paint a picture of how you're going to be feeling. It will give you a little dose of those, potential endorphins that you'll get from feeling that thing, feeling positive. It will make it much more exciting. It will give you that imagination of like, right, I'm going to be this thing. I can't wait to be this thing. I'm going to start working towards it. And it helps your brain start to get things in order as well in terms of the steps that you need to get along the way to reach that end goal. So if you can go through SMART, come up with the outline for your goal in there, and then make it more personal, positive, and present, you could take that goal of losing 5 kilos in 8 weeks to something much more exciting and much more usable, like I am on the beach in Marbella, which could be in 8 weeks' time, weighing 80 kilos, which could be 5 kilos less than you currently are, and I feel really, really confident. And how great would that feel if you did go on that holiday in 8 weeks' time, 5 kilos lighter, and you felt really, really confident, rather than where you are at the minute, 5 kilos heavier, worrying potentially about being on the beach on that holiday and not really enjoying yourself, whereas you actually want to go away and enjoy yourself. And these 2 goals essentially include all of the same things, but this one is much more exciting. If you read that every single morning, you'd be more excited about doing that. It's like, right, I want to go and have that feeling. I want to do this thing so that I go away and I feel in that particular way. And then you'll start doing those things because it's much more enticing to actually go and chase that feeling than it is to actually go and chase losing 5 kilos, which is essentially more of a thought process of restriction and all that sort of stuff, whereas this is a thought process of pursuing happiness, enjoyment, fulfillment, and all of those sorts of things. So that is the basis behind turning a SMART goal into a PPP goal. So like I said in the first video, hopefully you did the Wheel of Life. You've identified those areas. Good on you if you did. After this video, spend 15-20 minutes going through this process. So half of that time, go through specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-based, come up with a base goal, and then just make it more personal, more positive, write it in the present tense, put it down somewhere where you can see it every single morning, and then start pursuing that goal. And I guarantee you will have much more success pursuing something that is personal, positive, and present than you will pursuing something that is solely SMART. So hopefully you find that useful. Any comments that you got, pop them in the comments below on this video. We'd love to hear from you and basically your thoughts on this process. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video. Like and share, help us get this stuff out there because I think this stuff is going to be really useful.